Welcome back from that short break. We are talking transport and energy, and that is, of course, the taxi fare that went up from $13 Namibian to $15 Namibian. That is a 6.5% increase. A lot of households would be complaining about it, but for those that makes enough money are saying, well, it's okay, it's fair for the increase to have happened. But yet again, we're also taking it to the cargo trucks. There needs to be things that needs to be delivered, things that needs to be bought for our households.
Also, we make that everything.
Everything. Actually, everything is. That's a good point. So we are talking about cargo trucks that also went up. Can you elaborate on that for us?
Yeah, LCB, let me just quickly revisit our little talk on the taxi fares. Remember, it's not a big deal for one person. It is for families.
Yes.
Where there are 4, 5, 6 taxi fares that must be paid every day. Yeah? Then it becomes an issue. And then it is no longer just incremental increase. To people in that income bracket, it's a serious rise in expenses. And as I pointed out, it is double the inflation rate, which immediately signals a very red flag, red light. It's going to put strain on household expenditure. But the big thing that we need to worry about is the cost of diesel for trucks. The big trucks that bring in 84% of everything that we eat or drink or use. Now there you know that about a year ago, the price for a liter of diesel, I think it was about 21.60 or something, in roundabout there, and it has gone up to just over $28. Now that is a massive increase. That is a 33% increase. Yes. Now, Elsabe, I don't want to be the harbinger of bad news, but your income is not going to go up by 33% between now and next year.
Yeah.
Definitely not. You will be very lucky if it goes up by 3.5%, because then it just sort of stays in line with the broad inflation rate if you strip out the cost of food and fuel. So from what I've just said, and I can see you blinking, it's sinking in. Economists are very, very clued up, very clever, very crafty.
Yeah.
There are 2 broad inflation rates that we use. The one is the so-called headline inflation rate. That's a volatile inflation rate, and it refers to exactly what it says, the headline in the newspaper.
Yeah.
The one that grabs the attention. That includes food and fuel. But those are components that jump up and down. It is possible. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it is possible that by the end of this year, if everything is settled in the Middle East, it is possible that fuel can be back to where it was a year ago. But you and I do not know that, because it's into the future. And as it stands now, we're looking at a massive increase in the cost of bringing the stuff from South Africa, from Zimbabwe, from Zambia to the Namibian market.
Yeah.
And the distributors, the value chain is flexible. The value chain allows for, it's like playing a concertina. You don't need to play only on the one set of buttons. You can play on more than one set of buttons at the beginning of the value chain, during the value chain, and at the end. By that, I am saying that I do not foresee that everything is going to go up 33%. But I can guarantee you, to land it in Windhoek, everything will be 33% more. It just becomes a matter of where that increase is absorbed in the value chain.
Yeah.
And usually part of it is on the producer side, in other words, at the factory door. Parts of it is with the transport company, parts of it is with the wholesaler in Windhoek, and then also part of it is with the retailer, the shop, the supermarket where you and I go.
Yeah.
But regardless of how you play this concertina, at the end of the day, everything gets more expensive. And even if it doesn't go up by 33% in one go, that 33% will, over a period of 6, 7, 8 months, will very clearly reflect in the cost of living in Windhoek or anywhere else in Namibia. So this is why I said earlier, it's a 2022 reboot. The only difference now is that the culprit, the bad guys, sits in a different part of the world than where it was in 2022, but the effect is the same. And we, as an end user, we don't produce any of our own fuel. We have to accept that it's called a pass-through effect. There's nothing we can do. We can manipulate a small part of the value chain, and we can spread it out. Doesn't need to be in 1 month, but eventually it will eat us. And it's like frogs in, that example of the frogs in the water, that you boil. And as it gets warmer and warmer and warmer, they don't realize it's getting hotter and hotter and hotter, and eventually they cook without realizing how dangerous it is. This is what inflation is going to do to us. That water is going to get hotter and hotter and hotter towards the end of this year, until by December we are all fried.
Yeah. Okay, that is a lot to take in right now, but let's quickly go for a short break while we process that.